Good morning and welcome to Cappuccino with Father Capoverdi. Look who I found, who's with me today. Francesca. You're going to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving? Francesca, huh? Well, my sister is coming, and I told her to bring her cat, Olive. I think Francesca would like to meet her, huh? Francesca, you going to have a good Thanksgiving day? Huh? You going to have a good Thanksgiving? She usually eats chicken for her flavor of food, so turkey. Um, they do sell turkey cat food, but she's very finicky. She doesn't like to eat much except chicken. Like I even had tuna, that she could eat, and she doesn't want to eat tuna. So I don't know. She only likes chicken, and yeah, so she likes company. When company comes over, when my family comes for dinner, she enjoys seeing them, and she doesn't hide. She's not the type of cat. She takes naps. It's her nap time, so she's not gonna stay up for any reason if it's her nap time. But when it's not her nap time, she doesn't hide under the bed, or she enjoys being, having people over. All right, Francesco, I'm glad you got to see her, and I'm glad I caught her actually, because she's a little stinker or something. So she's wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Want to get down? You want to get down? Okay. Or maybe she doesn't. Does she want to stay on my lap? All right, wow, she doesn't want to get down. So, hey, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Have a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone has a good day today. I know it's kind of a bummer, as I mentioned in my homily. We're kind of like just dealing with, the situation of not being able to have a lot of people over, and, and we can't really, we have these requirements and everything, and it's been a little unfortunate, that we've been kind of stuck in the situation we're in, and but we just ask God, to help us and to heal us, to pray for our country, to pray for our for all those who are in need of His mercy, in need of His prayers today, especially for the poor and for the sick. Today we really have to say a special prayer for them, and we ask God to help them in their trials today. So, and we here is my cappuccino actually that I made. As you can see, I got a pretty good froth today. As I said, it's a difficult time, but hey, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. We have to we get a little break from the ordinariness of our days lately, especially being somewhat quarantined. I mean, I don't think people are going out to the same extent they were, even though we're not necessarily shut in like we were sadly in March and April and May and some June. So, but still, nevertheless, people are a little leery about wanting to go out, but I recommend that you do really go out there, and try not to let this be a source of crippling you, to the point where you're not going to dinner and you're not, going and enjoying yourself in certain ways. We have to do that. It's if we do contract the coronavirus, if you're healthy, it seems like almost everybody I know, even a couple of people I know in the nursing home, got it and they survived. So let's not let this cripple us, to the point where we don't want to, live our lives in a more regular way. We have to remember that, especially, like I said, we have to remember that as we're with our family today. We want to make sure that we have a good day with them, and give thanks to God. When the Pilgrims and Indians met for the first time, and especially here in Rhode Island, we have our state seal in Rhode Island is Roger Williams, and he's greeting the Indians as he came down from Massachusetts, and he's saying, "What cheer?" and a beautiful greeting to them, and they greeted him back very openly as well. So there was a very good connection there between Roger Williams and the Indians here in Rhode Island, and and to be thankful that we have brought Christianity to this hemisphere. Imagine how exciting it was and how adventurous it was for Europeans to discover a whole new continent and a whole new people who didn't know Jesus Christ, a whole new people who weren't baptized. This is really was an incredible thing for the missionaries to say, look, we got to get to this new world so that we can baptize these Indians to grant them, help them to find salvation. Jesus Christ told his apostles as they were on the mountain, the 11 of them, right before he ascended into heaven, he said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. So now I tell you, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you, and know that I am with you always until the end of the world. So Christ our Lord gave the apostles and their successors a direct command to go and make disciples of all the nations and to baptize them. So that was really an important command of the Lord, and the apostles took him seriously. One went to Spain. St. James went to Spain. Imagine he's in Israel. I mean, these apostles had no idea, that when they met Christ, they never could have imagined until they met Christ. And even after they got to know him and were his disciples, were his apostles, they could never imagine that they would end up in a country called in Spain, like what's now Spain, or Saint Thomas going to the tip of the south of India. I mean, imagine that. These Jewish men who lived in Israel, they would travel to Jerusalem and around their area, but maybe go out of their borders, to Damascus, or they would certainly travel there somewhere, around their borders of the Middle East. But my goodness gracious, India or Spain, or Paul and Peter going to Rome, the center of the Roman Empire. My goodness gracious. It would have been unheard of or unthought of until they met Jesus. But they took him seriously in his important command to go out to all the nations and to baptize. And so that's really what the missionaries did in the 16th century. They rightfully so, they were called by God to go to the New World and to convert souls to Christ, to convert these Indians, these natives who were here living in this hemisphere, to the truth of Christianity, so that they could be baptized, so that their souls would be saved. I'm going to plug in my phone here so I don't run out of battery. Let me just do that now. I have the plug right here. Hang on. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. I just wanted to do that so I wouldn't run out of battery, as I said. So that's really, so we have to give thanks for the martyrs and for the saints that came here to the New World to convert the Indians to Catholicism, to Christianity. We also have to give thanks for the missionary priests and sisters who recently came here. And we still have missionary priests coming here from Africa and India. We have to welcome them with open arms, because they're behaving in the way in which they know to do. Like priests from America go to India or go to Africa to be missionaries there. They come here and they're missionaries. Plus the missionaries in the past. I mean, think about the Irish priests, who took care of the Irish when they were here. The Italian priests who came, the Scalabrini fathers, they were missionaries. They left the northern part of Italy, where they had family and friends and a beautiful culture, a beautiful way of life, to come here to America. They They went from a country that was predominantly Catholic to a country that was only 25% Catholic. So they had to make a lot of sacrifices. The missionaries that came here, the Polish priests that came here, and the French, priests that came here to minister to the needs of the French Canadians, the Marist fathers and the Dominicans, who many of them were French from France. Then went to Canada and then eventually to the United States. So, we have to be thankful for all of the former missionaries and the current missionaries who come here to bring Christianity to the world, and also too for the situation we're in. We really want to pray for our country. You might be saying, "Well, Father, how can we give thanks for being cheated out of an election because of all these ballots that came out of nowhere, thousands of them?" And we have such a great president of the United States, and he was it's unbelievable what a great job he was doing. It just shocks me that people, why don't you like him? Well, I don't like his tweets. Look at peace in the Middle East. He got rid of he got rid of ISIS. You never hear of any more Christians being martyred right now in the Middle East, especially in the numbers they were when ISIS was there. He just eliminated them and just built up our military, and the economy was doing so well before China sent us the coronavirus. So, there was so much that he did that was just so great. And, his pro-life beliefs and his strengthening the border, because if the true election results are not brought forth and this battle is lost, which I dare to say it is, I'm really praying for a second term of the president. But if that happens, I don't know if we're ever going to have another pro-life president again, or another Republican president again, because the Democrats are going to flood the country with Central Americans and Mexicans, and that's what they're doing now in states. That's why you wonder, how are these states? How did they flip so quickly from red to blue? Well, there's heavily Hispanic populations in those states that they just let the borders, without any kind of restrictions to come in. And so I don't know, Texas could possibly be blue with the Democrats allowing immigration to come in the vast numbers that they want. So without borders, we're not going to really have the country that we have now. We're not going to have the Constitution we have now. So, it's scary, and we have to be realistic and think that really could happen if the true election results aren't made known. But and if these court cases don't work out, which I'm thinking they will, because it's we have to, for the sake of our democracy. But if they don't, we still have to give thanks to God and say, okay, we have our Catholic faith, we have our families, we have to look to our Blessed Mother to guide us. She's our star, she's the light that's in the sky, for us to look to get to her Son. And she's the patroness of the United States, the Immaculate Conception. So it really is important then, for us to turn to her and to help. And I don't know, maybe there's a chastisement that our country is going through because of this. We had the opportunity for 4 years to have a president whose orientation was God, who was, saying we need to bring back Christmas and say Merry Christmas. And, Christians was so protected by him and helped by him. Without him, and at the hands of the Democrat Party, it's going to be difficult. Martyrdom maybe, or imprisonments for Christians. Who knows what they're capable of, anything. So we really if they're capable of killing babies in the womb, they're capable of anything. So we really have to be judicious and prayerful, and gain strength from the Lord. And a day like this could help us to do that. Thanksgiving Day is a day for us to get renewed, to be with our family and our friends, to have, turkey. And, for we Italians, we have a little bit of a different menu. growing up, it was always kind of a source of curiosity toward my non-Italian friends. Why do you guys have lasagna on Thanksgiving Day? And for the longest time, I really didn't know why we had lasagna on Thanksgiving Day. And they're like, lasagna, like why? And the reason is because when the Italians came here, they eat in courses, and there's always a pasta course, especially for a big feast day. When the whole country is celebrating this day, the Italians wanted to celebrate it with the Americans with the same kind of enthusiasm and have a big dinner. But the Italians, when they have a big dinner, they have to have a pasta course, before their main course. So it's just what they do in Italy. When you go to Italy and you have a big feast, first comes out appetizers or an antipasto or something, and then maybe soup or something, and then you have a pasta that comes out. It's not lasagna necessarily, but it's a pasta course. And then you have the pasta, and then after the pasta course, you have the meat, the fish, or the chicken. Sometimes you have all three that come on the table after the pasta. So you really have to pace yourself, because when the pasta comes out after that, and then comes out the trays of, there might be chicken and chicken breasts, and then there'll be a meat, different kinds of meat, like meatballs, braciole, sausage, a pork, beef squares, like kind of chunks of beef that's cooked with the gravy. And then there'll be like fish. You'll have shrimp, or you'll have some kind of seafood dish as well, all on the table, that you kind of eat from. And so you have to pace yourself. And then the Italians aren't really big on desserts, but they'll have fruit, and they'll have nuts, and then pastries could come out on a special feast day like this. So, but they're not usually pies. The Italians don't eat pies, and they don't eat cake. The Italians don't eat cake. They're usually individual desserts is what the Italians eat. Pastries, cookies, pastries, biscotti, but not necessarily pies and cakes. It's kind of an American thing. So, today we'll have an antipasto. I'm making the antipasto. So, it'll be like capocollo, prosciutto, mortadella, Italian cheese, olives, and then after that, after the antipasto, we'll have the Italian wedding soup. I made that last night. I got to take it out of the refrigerator and get cooking up. It's made with scarole and little pasta, in it, and the little meatballs and chicken and a chicken broth, of course. So did I say scarole? With the scarole, and then that's really like the first course, because the antipasto I'm just going to put out on the counter here, because my family, I try to have a nice sun porch, and if I put the antipasto out there in the sun porch, no one would be out there. Everybody wants to be in the kitchen. So I don't know. It's an Italian thing where, I want to light candles in the sun porch and get the fire going. There's a little, fire stove, with flames, and everything. It's real nice, little hearth, there, and have drinks and just kind of socialize in that room. They don't want to. They want to be in the kitchen. Everybody is in the kitchen, so I just bring the appetizer or the antipasto out in the kitchen, because that's where everyone wants to be. So we'll have that before we sit down, and then the lasagna. So, and this year it's going to be interesting, because my nephew is making the lasagna, who's a head chef at Cosentino's on Federal Hill. So I don't think I've ever had his lasagna, because typically when he comes here, he's off duty, although I do recruit him, being a head chef as he is, and a graduate of Johnson & Wales in Providence. It's great to have him around, because I'm like, Anthony, what do I do with this? Because I'm really not sure. And he's like, oh, Uncle, here's what you do, So great tips, to help me to cook. I'm a very, very basic cook. I'm not really a fancy cook. I don't cook a lot of American food, and I really don't even cook a lot of different Italian style foods. I kind of stick to the few things that I really, really like, and that's what I usually cook at home. But I don't usually vary from much other things like that you might have in an Italian restaurant. So, I mean, he's the head chef of Cosentino's on Federal Hill. So, certainly the menu there is very diverse, and you have to learn a lot of different things, of course, if you're going to graduate from a school like Johnson and Wales. So, a great culinary school in Rhode Island, for those of you who may not know what it is. People and kids from all over the country come to Johnson and Wales too. It's a really, really popular school, and they've really almost taken over the most of downtown Providence too. Many of the buildings downtown are owned by Johnson and Wales. And then on the other side of the river, it's Brown University and RISD. They have a lot of property there as well. So we have a lot of schools in Rhode Island. We have like Bryant College and Providence College, and the others I mentioned, Rhode Island College, where I went, URI, University of Rhode Island, Bryant University there's Bryant University, that's the business school, Roger Williams, which has a law school. So it's pretty, we have a pretty good variety of different colleges and campuses in Rhode Island. So I'm interested to taste my nephew's lasagna. This is going to be very interesting. Maybe I'll post a picture of it online, because like I said, my sisters usually make the lasagna. When I was little, my mother or grandmother made the lasagna, and for some reason we always have a lasagna. It's not, other Italians I know have pasta. They'll have some kind of pasta course, but not necessarily lasagna every year. Stuffed shells or manigot or something. But I don't know. We've always did lasagna because it's always a holiday tradition. Whatever holiday it might be. Christmas, before the main course, we have lasagna. Easter, before the main course, we have lasagna. Like a special occasion thing. And we make lasagna differently than they do in Italy. Italian Americans have all different kinds of recipes for lasagna. We make it by making a full-blown gravy, like with all the things you would usually make gravy, all the meatballs and everything in the gravy. And then we take out all the meatballs and we put them in a bowl and we smash them. We smash the meatballs and we put ricotta cheese in mix it in the meatballs. And then we fill the lasagna pasta with this meatball mix with ricotta cheese. So it's kind of like very different. Some Italians will have little meatballs. They'll roll little meatballs and they'll have the little meatballs, individual meatballs, intact as circles in the middle of the lasagna. In Italy, they won't usually use meatballs. They'll use like ground beef or some kind of like either pork, beef, and veal. They'll fry it, and they'll layer it in between. So it's different the way they do it there. And then after we layer it with all the meatball mix that's mixed in with the ricotta cheese and it becomes a big meatball ricotta cheese mix. When we fill in the lasagna, we put mozzarella cheese, like stretchy cheese, in there too. So it's usually like when you cut it, it's usually like very, very stretchy when you're eating it. So that's what we usually have for a pasta course in Rhode Island. A lot of Italians will have lasagna, and then of course it's Thanksgiving, so we got to have turkey. So we'll have turkey and all the trimmings. And you think, oh my goodness, how are you going to eat all this food? And it is tough. It's a marathon, but we'll probably have the turkey around like 5:00. I'm putting it in. I've never done this before, so I'm praying that it works because I've never made a turkey, and we're going to put the turkey in I'm going to probably put it in around noon because it'll take about 5 hours. So by the time we have turkey, between the antipasto, the soup, and the lasagna, I think probably it'll be like 5:00 or so. So I think if I put it in at like noon, it should be a good thing. Maybe I'll put it in a little earlier, like maybe 11:30. So because you want it to sit a little on the counter, I guess. We'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. I'm afraid because I've never made a turkey before. I mean, I know it's not hard, but I used the recipe and I'm just gonna pop it in the oven. I just, I don't know. I'm afraid I've never done it before. So if all fails, at least we've eaten a lot before it. But you got to have turkey on Thanksgiving, so the pressure's on for me to make sure this comes out good. So listen, I hope everyone has a very blessed and happy and holy Thanksgiving Day. It was great. I'm going to cut it a little shorter than I usually do, just to get ready and get things done here that I need to do. And I hope everyone, like I said, Dino Trambino said, save some of Anthony's lasagna for him. We're going to see each other on Saturday night. I mentioned at Mass, Dino, that we're going to be at Hoofs to watch the big fight. So I'm really, really excited about that. Angelo, his name is Giuseppe Angelo Cusumano, and he's fighting for the heavyweight championship. I have pictures of him on my Facebook page. Dino took those pictures, actually, Dino Trambino. And, we're looking forward to it. It looks good. It looks like I've been reading a lot about him online, and it seems like he could actually do this. So we're all hoping he does. It'll be the first time an Italian American has had the world championship title for heavyweight championship since Rocky Marciano. So we'll all be rooting for him, and I'll be there Saturday night at Hoofs, like I said, watching the fight. It'll be exciting, and I've been praying for him. That's for sure, that he has the strength and the endurance and the perseverance, to see this through. And he has a great punch. It's a pretty powerful pack that he has in there. That so he should do well. But we're looking forward to it. And watch it. You guys watch the fight. It should be pretty exciting. We'll see what happens. Everyone, have a blessed, happy Thanksgiving. God bless you. I'm very glad you could join me, even if it was, a little shorter than what we usually do. I hope you have a great time with your family around the table, your friends, and, buon appetito. Have a very beautiful meal and enjoy it. And we'll see you next Thursday for Cappuccino with Father Capoverdi. But I'll see you tonight, though. I'll still do night prayer at 10 o'clock. Everyone, usually is gone, of course, by then, and I should hopefully have the energy to do it. So I'll see you at night prayer at 10 o'clock, and have a blessed, happy, and holy Thanksgiving Day. Ciao for now. Arrivederci. Don't forget, Saturday night, watch Giuseppe fight. It should be a good one. I don't know how you have to do a pay-per-view or whatever, however you do it, but figure it out. You have now until Saturday night to figure it out. So it should be a great fight. And he's a great kid, great Catholic kid too, goes to Mass and belongs to Holy Ghost in Federal Hills. So, we got to root him on. Okay. God bless. Ciao. Buona festa. Buon appetito. Buona cena. Ciao. Ciao, everyone on Facebook. God bless. On YouTube. On